Hello YouTube. Today I will be going over and analyzing a bit this series from E7 Masters Week 1. This was a very entertaining series to watch from two players with a very fast play style, so it's very interesting. So I'll be taking a look at it today. Let's get right into it. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Oh, okay. Richard gets first pick. A lot of openers are getting banned. Like both of them are speed players, so they kind of understand what the other one wants to play. Makes sense. And I'd imagine, yeah, Nodos obviously is the choice, especially with Bryceria banned. One of his counters makes a lot of sense. And let's see what 1080-50 picks in response. Lady of the Scales, of course, and DN, two very strong units as well. These are pretty much all of the most broken units in the game right now, so it makes sense that they're being picked up first. Richard speeds up with Renak and hey Kate. Hecate removes the immortality from DN and Scale, so it's kind of like a double counter pick there. And then Renak can, well, obviously Renak's a really fast unit, so she's going to outspeed these units and just kill whoever's the front line instantly. But 1080-50 responds with Zeo. Zeo always is guaranteed first turn, so it makes a lot of sense to pick it against Renak. So yeah. And Teiyu. I think this draft is probably a good bit stronger than normally because Richard banned Polly. I think Polly would probably be not bad into him, maybe. I don't know, but let's see what Richard decides to pick. Holiday Euphine, stop the pushback. Could make sense. Okay. And Young Senya. Now, I don't know what Young Senya is supposed to do here, but yeah, I don't know. The thing is that with these four units right here, like Young Senya is already useless into these four. So 1080-50 kind of just needs something good, and then they can just ban the Euphine if they wanted to. But let's see what happens. Ludwig comes through, another Zeo bridge. Makes sense. And, okay, banning Teo is kind of weird when you have Holiday Euphine, because Holiday Euphine's pretty much exclusively here to counter him. But I guess he was anticipating the Holiday Euphine ban. But, you know, it didn't happen, so that's something. Let's see how the game plays out. What will Zeo do? Solburn S3 to proc Ludwig, of course. And DN. I think S1 here is the best. There's not really a reason to S3. You can kind of use Hecate's passive tier advantage by, like, just in case the Notice is on Holy Sack. Obviously, we don't know that for sure, but if they were on Holy Sack. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. There's a infinite soul burns. Just kill the Notice off, and then there's not really much Richard could have done about this in this draft, obviously. Or, I mean, after the draft was done. It's, you know, kind of just getting run over. So, yeah, that was game one. A very smart draft by 1080-50, playing against Richard's strengths very well, knowing that he's a very speed-oriented player. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Okay. Richard takes first pick again. A bunch of openers get banned, as well as Harsetti. Oh, what's this guy gonna pick? Genesis Raz. Okay. A very neutral pick. Very awesome. Nurse Yulha gets taken away from 1080-50. And whatever else. Let's take a look. Boss Arunca. It's like a very standard, normal draft, I think. Nothing that out of the ordinary so far. Both sides are staying kind of neutral with their early picks at least. Iseria and Tenebria. I see. So we end up picking Tori on 1080-50 side. Tori can't be debuffed, at least turn 1 if she has immunity because it can't be dispelled, so it's really good for that reason against debuffers. And then Mort counters the Iseria very hard, so I'd say this makes sense all in all. How are we going to counter this? Strays. Strays does make sense. And Freerin. Okay. And then Luna comes out. I mean, Luna is probably getting banned. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see how many debuffs Tenebria lands. Didn't land on Mort, but I mean, it's not like Mort can be stunned or slept anyways, so I don't think that makes that big of a difference. I guess it does mean that he'll cleanse whatever other debuffs get landed on him. Hey, counter's really nice. I like that they have the soul counters at the top now. I don't think they had that last tournament. With free run, it makes a lot of sense, obviously. Okay, what's this thing gonna do? Wait. Soulburn S1. Soulburn S1. Mm, okay. Tori's gonna S3, proc Cascade, one shot something, hopefully. Go on Iseria, the obvious target. And it gets one shot, and we get an extra turn because we're on Master of Nightmares. A very strong artifact for Tori, when it procs at least. So we just one shot 2 units for fun. And then here Raz can S2, S3 and kill off Arunca. Which is pretty nice because of the rupture damage. Okay, he soulburns. I think he would have died without soulburn, especially because the like he's lowering the ratio, but the HP was already around 50% or below it, so it's making the rupture deal less damage than it otherwise would. I think. But unless I'm stupid, but I mean he kills anyways. But he does waste souls. He has 22 left. I guess it's something. This thing gonna S3. S1. Wait. Oh, I got a dual attack. Wait. So Yulho's on Glorious Flag, and she might have cut anyways with speed buff as it was close, but she only lapped the free run for sure because of the dual attack. Otherwise, the free run might have just, or she would have just killed Yulho outright there, and then, yeah, now Yulho can S3. So we're going to S3. Let's see what we S3. Boss Arunca, and then it's free run turn. So Boss Arunca doesn't have her buff yet. That makes her like the taunt or whatever. Makes her the only unit that can be targeted. But Richard decides to soulburn into her anyways. So yeah, that was a A bit of a misplay, probably. I think I'll go back. Like instead of soul burning on Aruka, if he just goes into Tori, the Tori will die, right? And then obviously Yule has no revive for a while. So Freeman kind of has time to solo. I don't know if Freeman would win for sure, but at the very least, I think it would be better odds than this. Okay, soul burn with Tori, sure. A whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing again. Defense break. Doesn't matter. I think this game is over. The souls are running out, and even besides that, Tori's Cascade is probably gonna start dealing some damage. And Richard surrenders. That was a pretty. Mm, I think Richard misplayed a lot, but I also do think 1080/50 had pretty good RNG in that game. There were a couple times where Glorious Flag was proc to push Yulha, not only in that one dual attack, but also whenever Tori procs Master of Nightmare, she's also pushing an extra 10% on the Yulha. Wasn't paying that much attention to see if that mattered for the CR, but if those things didn't happen and the Freerun was able to just kill the Yulha outright, then obviously the game would be quite different. But anyways, wait, what's this? Oh, this is a recap. Oh wait. Oh, so that's the whole series. And yeah, I think it was a very convincing win from 1080/50. Now we can see the tournament here, or the tournament brackets here. As of week one, 1080/50 does beat up Richard in this match. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the upcoming weeks. I hope we get a lot more bangers like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.